cards. Or in some cases, I guess for the way this meta is, sometimes it's the luck of the odds.
It certainly can be. I think Mindfreak.
Sometimes you just press Earth Shatter and you hope that everything goes right.
Just hope he drops his shield.
Yeah. And he's going to be Blank Esports attacking. Here on Horizon, Lunar Colony, they're in the box seat. Of course, if they win Assault here, it'll be 3-0. It'll also mean that they win this series outright. No chance for a Game 5, whereas...
There's Anna's on both teams.
Yeah. There's also Sombras on both teams. What is this? Guys, we're meant to be playing goats.
Did no one tell them?
No one told them. Oh, okay. That's fine. Cool. Please, no one tell them. Fine with this. Christoph just looking around trying to get Tails.
He's just so close to getting it.
Oh, Fracture's fallen down. Man. The pressure was too much as well. That was really well played because Nallery was the one that forced Fracture to move back, and then that allowed Tails to just jump on him. This could be over with. Nice stun though. Ooh. Translocate forced out. Maybe not over just yet. Chance for Mindfreak to redeem themselves. Of course, Fracture's going to get back in time quickly because he's actually switched over from the Zenyatta over to Lucio to get back. Yeah,
I like that. Blank taking it a little bit slowly there. Making sure they get onto the point at the same time. With everybody, ooh, just recalling out in the nick of time there. Kanskis. Now Roro. They are going to back off just a little bit. One tick on the point now.
Forcing Mindfreak to basically throw their bodies on the floor. It's going to just be the Nano Boost. No blade available for Roro. That's why you can still get a lot of damage with those shurikens. And they are also starting to tank this point, but Roro is always going to have a hard time against the Winston and the D.Va together, 1 versus 2, and he does fall because of that. Blank, though, picking up the pieces and, well, dealing with the rest of the members of Mindfreak. That will be the first point captured for them. The question now being, though, will they be able to use the snowball momentum coming into this second checkpoint? We've seen it a little bit today.
They may well. They've got the EMP. Roro is not going to have a nano blade, of course. Tung felt like, you know, maybe he was just putting his faith in him. He's like, oh, he can get 50% up in the time that the Nano Boost lasts on him and get the blade out. Either way, it helped him zone them out just a little bit. Cool Whip is going to be on the back. He's probably going to get nice and close with Mindfreak, sorry, with Blank Esports before pulling the trigger on that Meteor Strike. Of course, it's such a great escape option. Lasky cannot get out now. He's been hacked.
Yeah, that means he also come up the promo range immediately, and then he's going to go down. Sound barrier for Blank Esports. Hack onto Cool Whip.
Can't get out of that one.
Oh boy, Sombra's making a huge impact right now for Blank Esports. The D-Mac onto Christoph as well. Goob Swiss Strike. And finished off. Blank Esports are just ticking up. 70% already onto the Wrecking Ball for Kamsky to just try and buy some time. Lansky can now pop the Primal Rage at least with a self-destruct thrown up high into the sky. Back down. We'll finish off the Big Monkey, and he's returned to Horizon Lunar Colony. He's not looking good. It's not really going to work out for him, though. Christoph comes back from spawn, throws out the self-destruct onto the point, but look how careful all of Blank Esports were. They were all hiding. They were all aware of what was happening there with Christoph now hacked. Tails has played this magnificently. This should be an easy cap for Blank Esports. Boy, this has gone pretty quick. They did lose Roro and Kura, though. Maybe chance for Mindfreak, just maybe. And it will be. It will be. They come back.
Yep, Hammond hacks there with the EMP ready to go. If they can stop people using those movement abilities to get back on the point, they should be able to get this last little bit of percentage on the point.
This is back and forth as I've ever seen it.
They do it there, but Mindfreak, unfortunately, playing hide and seek instead of playing Overwatch. ZeNox, they don't really make it out there in the end. I mean, there was 3 of them with ultimates at the start of that fight. They could have pushed back, but we see the EMP come out. Can't use those ultimates once hacked, obviously. And that's just a really rough start here to Horizon by Mindfreak. They needed to get in early. Yeah. They needed to get in early with that Meteor Strike. It seemed like he wanted to hide, let the tanks engage, and then not take too much damage himself before pushing in. But if you've got the shields on, if you hit the abilities, which of course you have to believe in yourself on that Doomfist, and then you've got the Meteor Strike to get out as well, well,
I mean, the tanks wanted to engage on that, but obviously that hack from Tails onto Lansky forced Lansky back, falls before he can get off the Primal Rage, and then obviously from that, at that point, the hacks come back up. That's when turns over to Doomfist for Cool Whip, and really the problem is, do you want to take the fight when Lansky's hacked? If you're Cool Whip in that situation, do you just immediately come in and like, okay, Meteor Strike, let's go, even though he's hacked? I mean, you're right, I think they wanted the tanks to engage. You can't though if you're hacked. So then you've got to go your backup plan, which is Doomfist.
Yeah, but of course he got hacked as well.
Well, he got hacked after Lasky died. By that point, the second that Lasky's hacked is when he's got to go for it. Otherwise, it snowballs like the way it did in the end. And now it's up for the Mindfreak to attack themselves. 4 minutes and 34 is the time bank. Although, to be fair, Gina, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a full hold here. It could very well happen. Unlikely, though, but it could.
Yeah, I mean, Blank Esports have got a normal, a very standard composition here, and that's one, if played correctly, where you can be conservative, not lose too many members, pull back when necessary, and you really can full hold someone here with that. That said, Mindfreak have got that attacker's advantage. If they switch it up, if they feel like they're confident with something like a Doomfist Sombra, we've seen them play it a couple of times already. If this Goats does not work, they've got that option to try and crack the defense. They're actually going to go up the stairs, though.
Ooh, they want to fight this in the choke while Blank was sort of halfway up. Now they come halfway back down and out. So Blank basically allowing Mindfreak out of that choke point. I really thought they could have just held them on the stairs there, but I guess they got a little scared, and this is going to work out well for Mindfreak. And I feel like Blank have misplayed this quite heavily. In fact, they had the opportunity. They were the ones that forced that early fight. They were the ones who came in from behind. Then they got him in the choke on the stairs and then just pulled back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you can't get the kills in Goats, it doesn't matter because the other team can just get all that healing together. We saw Blank just trying to pull back again and again, but I don't know if Kura was perhaps saving his boost, his amp for their heals and didn't have it to disengage, but they were just pulling back and dying ever so slowly. That said, Mindfreak haven't got the ultimates up. They will have them soon, so a quick snowball, I'm not expecting that unless Lasky can pull out a godly Earthshatter here.
Very well could. This would be huge for Mindfreak, of course, because it would be a quite massive time bank. It does get off the massive Earthshatter, picking up 3 members, but the Transcendence was already active for Tom, which helps out Blank Esports. They do lose Roro, though.
It's a good start. If they can keep Lasky alive.
Lasky at about half out now, getting held up. No's going to get back into the mech. Cool Whip picks up the double kill onto Tails and Kura. And it is Mindfreak that are lighting up the kill feed, that are continuing to move with this momentum and get this point ticking up here to the second point of Horizon Lunar Colony. Roro is going to come back. 90% for the grab. Sound barrier for Kura. They need to keep Roro alive, but it's already another Earthshatter for Lasky. Now the sound barrier from Fractured as well. Massive for Mindfreak right now. Completely outplaying Blank Esports. That time bank is going to be huge. And they're going to have it as well because it's going to be 2-2 here on Horizon Lunar Colony.
5 minutes and 35 seconds, I think that was. You can hear it in my voice, ZeNox. Suddenly there's hope. With that
a new hope.
I mean, it looked like it was a capitulation by Mindfreak. But the Mindfreak strikes back, I suppose. And with an extra minute in that time bank now, it's anyone's game all of a sudden.
Will we see the return of the Blank Esports?
Nice, I'll pay that. Now, we've got some bananas here. Is that a potato? A coconut? Is this some sort of... Okay, is this some sort of magical tree that they've bio-engineered here on Horizon? And it actually... No, maybe the potatoes are from the ground there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the potatoes. Very weird.
Thanks, MC. Thanks for the information there. We were just trying to... Wouldn't that be a dream, though?
Those are some big potatoes.
Imagine potatoes growing on trees.
Yeah. Attackers incoming.
I mean, imagine bananas growing in the ground.
I mean, honestly, if you can make a super intelligent gorilla and a hamster, why the hell can't you have a tree that grows 2 different... Well, it's a vegetable and a fruit, isn't it?
I feel like if they've got this technology, they can go further than the moon as well.
Here's the philosophical question, ZeNox. Is it still a vegetable if it grows on a tree?
I think you would have to rewrite the ruling on that law, I think.
That's what we're doing. We're rewriting the rules of engagement here. Mindfreak absolutely turning science on its head with that attack. Blank Esports now on the defensive, sorry, on the attack, because they had, of course, the smaller time bank in the end. I can't imagine after their attack they thought they'd have the smaller time bank, but that's certainly what Mindfreak have done. Tails will go back and change off onto the Brigida, of course, now hoping to match Lasky. Ryan for Ryan is Nellery.
I mean, we're basically just playing this again, right? They've got 4 minutes, essentially, because they went back to spawn, they changed up, so let's do this again. It's like we've just done a bit of a restart here on Horizon Lunar Colony, except the fact that Mindfreak will now have a handicap of an extra minute and a half. And
Okay,
so Mindfreak just disengage entirely.
Yeah, so they take the high ground, and this time they don't pull a quick one like Mindfreak did and come back down to the point. The two teams will go onto the point. Almost hard to tell who's attacking and who's defending at this point. Lasky will get the stun out, but he is healed up again. The Discord on Nellery is too much.
Yeah, and that's going to be a nice defensive hold from the first push for Mindfreak. They get the ult economy slightly in their favor with that win, of course, as well. Still 3.5 minutes, though, Genome, but
that's so important, ZeNox. Both of these teams running over the top of the other one after getting some quick victories on this first point. The fact that Mindfreak are starting to stabilize now on the defense means so much, not only for their first point hold, but for the second point hold as well.
Well, Mindfreak are in with an opportunity to possibly send this series to 2-1 and still hold out some slight hope that they could take out the series entirely against Blake Esports. It would require the full reverse sweep, though, from 0-2 to 3-2.
Christoph needs that mech.
Christoph's going to get it back as he suits up just in time. The Blake Esports have pushed in. Transcendence used by Goobs. Got ultimates available, one of them being the Earth Shatter will get Kura. Kura's going to go down. Roro and Tails are both knocked as well from that Earth Shatter. Tails immediately up and will take out Kamskis, but Blake are losing players too quickly. Fall down.
And look at this, is going to be a big stun. Sorry, stagger onto Roro, but he does get one back onto Fractured. At least that's a fast hero, can get back to the point. Lots of ultimates on both sides here with 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go. You see Nellery with that Earth Shatter. He needs to combine with Tails here, perhaps even with the grab from Roro, and try and make something happen with that. Of course, Mindfreak are going to have almost all of the same tools to work with here. The big difference is not having that Transcendence from Goobs.
The big difference is really it's Transcendence for Blank and it's Sound Barrier for Mindfreak. The other, both teams basically don't have both coming into this fight right now. Graviton Surge a little high in the self-destruct, not really that effective at all. Now it's going to be the other way around, and Noz with a double kill. Self-destruct here. Blank Esports pick up 3 in total. Make that 4 now. Mindfreak just don't have the firepower to really hold them off this much longer. Minute and a half is the time here. And just like the first time around, Gina, the question will remain, can Blank pretty much continue the trend we're seeing here in Horizon Lunar Colony, which is the snowball momentum going into the second point?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit harder when you take that long to capture the first point. They will get topped up with 30 seconds, of course. They can have some potatoes as they go through for some sustenance. And some bananas. Keep them fully fueled going into the second
some potassium.
Point. Yep, need that fructose.
Yep. So Mindfreak, though, they still have some toys to play with, though. One of them being the Transcendence, the other being the Earth Shatter. As you mentioned, the block nice from Lasky. He's going to return fire.
Well
Picks
done.
up the triple stun with the Earth Shatter. That will deny Blank Esports from getting off really the snowball push onto the second point. You've got 1 minute and 18 seconds to try and get 4 points here on Horizon.
Look, I'm literally scratching my head about that shatter there from Nellery. It didn't look like he had any kind of combo set up with his team. He didn't have the Brigade there to help him out. It felt like he was just hoping that Lasky would drop his shield, and of course it didn't happen. There was even a bubble on Cool Whip, double protection there for the tanks on Mindfreak to make sure they don't give up the point. They do have some ultimates left. Will be Roro and Cool Whip probably getting both of their Graviton Surges up through this point. They do manage to make it on there without any casualties.
First off with the self-destruct available, Tongue with the Transcendence, the 2 major factors coming into this fight. Kamskis just gets rallied, pops it. It was actually very risky because Kamskis was pretty close to going down. Both rallies pop. Graviton Surge from Roro, now Graviton Surge from Corwin. Self-destruct from Christoph. This has got to wipe them. No, but it only gets Nellery. Sort of takes the brunt of the damage for the rest of the team. All a blank though. There's only 18 seconds left. Sound barrier from Mindfreak, but it only lands onto 3 members of Mindfreak, so it doesn't quite get full capacity in the end. Now it's going to be Lasky with an Earth Shadow one more time to try and ward off Blank Esports altogether. Nellery comes back in. 90%. This could be the play though. Fire Strike immediately denied by the projected barrier. There it is. It's only going to get Christoph though. Goobs around the corner, stays up. Not going to be knocked down. But Blank are picking up the kills. Mindfreak just don't have the answers to sort of deny Blank some players. And that should be 4 points possibly captured here. Lasky will charge in, but won't make it. Knocked down before he could even get onto the point. 4 captured.
Nellery takes one for the team. A nice charge, just ending off the point to make sure it's a clean capture for them. In overtime, admittedly, we could be going to a 5-6 here potentially, ZeNox.
Yeah. I just didn't specify which was the...
Look, you did. There's a VOD. There is a recording.
I mean, I still...
This isn't a different country where you can kind of just say whatever you want and pretend
No, well,
it's
we
true,
are in the moon,
okay?
though, at the moment.
No. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's true. I mean,
There are different laws
is
on
the
the
moon
moon.
a country?
No, it's a moon.
Need to learn more about space law.
Ready
Space.
for
I don't think that there's space law.
No, it's a thing.
Not for the moon right this second. I mean, there's no one on the moon right now.
Space law's a thing. It's a real thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know there's space law.
I had a conversation with my grandmother
Is
about
there
it the other
moon
day.
law?
Attackers incoming. In
Well, I assume that's a subset of space law.
So wait, so does that mean space law applies on Earth then?
Well, I guess there's certain actions you could take on Earth which would impact on space law, like, I don't know, launching a satellite or, you know, trying to harvest an asteroid. I feel like that's really what it's all about.
Right,
People are
okay.
seeing the big money in you know, harvesting some minerals on an asteroid somewhere.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Got to plant your flag. You're all about that life.
Yeah, let's get going. Let's get into space. All right, let's get into this game though. Of course, the last time we left off with Mindfreak's attack, Gino, they were...
That'd actually be a cool concept for a character, a space miner. Like Torb in space.
It's been a long day when you start talking about space miners as the next Overwatch hero. Thank you, Gino.
You heard it here first.
This is why you're not on the development team. 5 minutes and 10 seconds for the attack of Mindfreak. As I was going to say, last time we saw them, they were looking quite comfortable in attack. Taking out both points pretty quickly, pretty seamlessly as well. See whether or not they'll be able to do the same again. There is no time bank for Blank Esports, but they did get up to 4 checkpoints points worth.
Defense Matrix coming out from Christoph, having to use a little bit just to allow them to get through the choke. They're successful in doing that, but Lasky is not successful in maintaining health and keeping himself alive. Once again, Roro doing the brunt of the damage for Blank Esports.
Well, at least for Blank Esports, they can hold off Mindfreak for now, at least for the initial push. And just in the end, Mindfreak just sort of getting split up slightly there, and that allowed Blank to sort of just converge onto one at a time and really just overwhelm Mindfreak.
At least there was a lot of damage on both sides, so we don't see a massive ultimate difference at the moment. It just could come down to, you know, someone getting them first. Like we see Goobs very high up right now. If you can get that Transcendence and allow Mindfreak to be aggressive early on in this fight, perhaps they can swing it in their favor early on. They've got the high ground. Not as important here as you might think. Of course, they can put down a little bit of damage. It's hard for Nellery to protect his team at this angle. They're just going to heal everyone up, waiting for this. Man, they're taking so much damage. Come on, Fractured. Amp that healing. There we go. He's actually going to amp the speed for them to go in.
There's going to be the Roro Graviton Surge immediately counter by Goobs' Transcendence. The self-destruct managing to get Cool Whip. Obviously,
Somehow.
the particle barrier must have been on cooldown, the self version of it. And that is going to be Blank Esports with a quick wipe again onto Mindfreak. 2 quick kills.
Now, my question is, did they need that Earth Shatter at the end? They'd wrapped up a couple of them. I think there was maybe only 1 kill, but it seemed like they'd really got the positional advantage after that Graviton Surge. Perhaps Nellery's Earth Shatter was a little bit too much on the top of that. They didn't need the cherry. The ice cream was good enough. It was
quite sufficient.
You know?
Yeah.
So Mindfreak going to come in now. They're going to have the Earth Shatter to use, and if they don't wait too long, they might be able to make use of that disparity in the ultimates between the two teams. Goobs in a nice position there, not going to get caught off guard. They are going to go in with the rally.
Rally for Tails, Kura and Tung, the 2 remaining ultimates down for Blank Esports. I guess at least for Blank's sake that all of their ultimates that they had up for this fight were support ultimates to try and offset what's about to come for them from Mindfreak. Nicely done from Lasky with the Earth Shatter. The charge following up as well. They take out Nellery. This should be the first checkpoint in favor of Mindfreak, being able to overwhelm Blank Esports with the ultimates that they had, and yet they only used 2 ultimates. The Rally and the Earth Shatter, and that's exactly what they wanted to happen. Blank Esports forfeiting, that means there's a chance of the snowball into that second checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was less about the ultimates at that time. The Rally was good getting in there, and the Earth Shatter did confirm it, but it was really the patience from Mindfreak. They waited until Roro would use that projected barrier onto Nellery, and as soon as that was down, they knew they could get in there and confirm the Earth Shatter. They do that, they don't waste too many more, and now they're going to have 4 to, as you said, try and get that snowball. They could come into here with a nice Time Bank, if they can take Tongue down now after that Transcendence.
Graviton's Surge and the self-destruct though being blocked by the shield of Nallery, and Blank Esports are going to offset all of these ults from Mindfreak, who weren't able to use the sound barrier or the Earth Shatter. Fortunately for Mindfreak, I guess, to still hold on to those when... Man,
that's ugly, ZeNox.
Yeah.
4 ultimates. Sorry, no. They
it was
used,
only 2.
No, they used the grab, they used the self-destruct, and they used the Transcendence. It was 3.
Yeah, 3.
Neither of us, you know, if we average out our opinions, we end up somewhere close to the truth. Now Mindfreak are going to come back with the Earth Shatter
also,
this time.
By the way, if this goes to a draw, then the series is still one for Blank Esports. So,
yeah,
Mindfreak need to win.
Do absolutely have to take out the victory here. There is a lot on the line.
Let's keep it the Shadow available, but he saw the projected barrier onto Nallery. Now he lands it onto the Diva and onto Nallery. Sound barrier from both teams, unable to keep Nallery alive though. Nice charge from Lasky. Self-destruct going to be thrown out. Kura will take out Lasky, who just sort of looked like he was in no man's land, really unaware of his surroundings at that time in place. As the Graviton Surge now thrown out into the face of Mindfreak. The follow-up damage is huge, massive. And that will send Mindfreak back to spawn one more time. 50 seconds remaining here. They may just flat out lose it here.
Yeah, like a wounded lion. He was surrounded by a pack of hyenas. And Blank Esports take out Lasky, and the rest of them will fall. That's pretty much how it happens these days. So they do have the combo available. The combo, of course, being the Graviton Surge and the Self-Destruct. Mindfreak come in now in a good position with Roro using that Graviton Surge at the end of the last fight. As they come in from the high ground, they're trying to get as much chip as they can, get the Discord onto their preferred target before they start the engagement.
I'm assuming it's going to be Graviton Surge, followed up by Self-Destruct. Look at this. Deja vu once again. This time will it work? They did get the charge from Lasky into Nallery, but it still didn't quite confirm anything for Mindfreak. They do have the Transcendence. Lasky will have an Earth Shatter low. There's the Transcendence, and the Earth Shatter for Lasky is huge. Gets 4 members of Blank Esports threat on overtime as they start ticking it up. Noz's mech's going to be demeched entirely.
Now they've got to be careful. Roro's high charge. They take him out.
Gone.
That's so important because we know what a high charge Zaya can do. He could have got a kill or 2 and then started that snowball large overtime fight. It doesn't happen, and we're going potentially to the 5-6, the fabled 5-6.
Could you imagine?
I can't imagine.
Well, now we
I'm
can
doing
imagine.
it right now.
Yeah, 5-6.
Initiating match.
It's playing in my mind like a little film.
1 minute apiece. We go again for the 3rd time here on Horizon Lunar Colony. And man, this has been so indicative of the entire day so far today, because I'm fully expecting Blank to win this now.
Now that it's being close,
yeah.
Now that they've given them a
100%.
sniff, they close them out. Yep.
And that's the way the day's gone so far. At the end of the day, we can look at 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. But if you dig deep and you go and have a look at the games, they've all been actually relatively close. Here and there in each of the series, there have been some stomps. There's been a couple of, some proper stomps. But then you've got games like this, Geno, where Mindfreak really taking it up to Blank Esports. Could go either way. In fact, I would say so far on Horizon Lunar Colony, they have looked like the team that has been in control, that has looked better, especially on attack. And that's why they had that massive time bank initially.
Mindfreak's attack has been formidable so far.
1 minute.
They've both got the same amount, but of time bank here, just the 1 minute, of course, gets topped up to try and break the tie. We can still go to a draw if neither team manages to cap out here, or perhaps just caps the first and not the second point. And as we said, in that situation, Blank will be the victors for the series. Tails gets behind, gets a very good look at both the positioning and the makeup of the defender's composition here. They are just going to match them.
Yeah, standard goats match here, which I think
they've taken a lot of time to do that, ZeNox.
Yeah, because they had Tails on the Sombra to go and scout out. That alone took about 25 seconds. So now they come in, they basically get one fight.
They're all in. There's only this one fight.
With 1 minute, even if they moved in immediately, they probably only have one fight. It's just the way it works. It's just basically taking it down to the fact that our goats is better than your goats, and Roro low has to fall back. They do still have 10 seconds before they must have someone on that point at all times. And Horizon Lone Colony's point, well, it's very enclosed. You can't really hide while standing on this point, so you have to take the fight. Here it is. Blank Esports, Nallery down to half health. Mindfreak winning the health battle at the moment. That could change, though. Nallery, Fire Strike just hits the wall. That may allow Lasky to get some extra damage in here. 100 energy, Cool Whip. It's 1-for-1. Both Lasky and Nallery go down. Sound Barrier is going to come out from Kura in favor of Blank Esports. Cool Whip, was his grab eaten? I think it may well have been. And he does go down to Noz as well. Blank Esports may be able to pull this off here. Goobs, he goes down. He wasn't even able to get his Transcendence available. Christopher as well has to pop the self-destruct, and he doesn't even do so. Blank Esports, how do they do it?
I think that was the right decision, though. I know he could have stalled it out for a tiny bit longer, ZeNox.
You're giving it up, the first point.
But they've got another chance to come back in. They want to stall them out on, or stop them on the second point, and now they do have an extra ultimate to work with. You've got to remember, they've only got 30 seconds, one fight. Every ultimate means a lot. But boy, did they have a chance to take that fight out, and they really dropped the ball.
They basically,
that Graviton Surge ultimate was... Getting eaten was absolutely massive.
They basically conceded to say, okay, we have to now get this first point. Save the self-destruct. Let's just try and defend the second one. There it is now immediately. There we go. Self-destruct from Christoph. We'll pick up Tails. Nallery went down as well. Now, Nostra had his own self-destruct, but I don't think it's going to really make that big of an impact. At this point, it's just as simple as this. Mindfreak will need to somehow get both of the points. Blank really just don't have the numbers here to get any percentage on this. It's still at 0.0%, and it may end up that way.
Lasky's got to be careful. Once again, Lasky's just swinging too much. I know you guys have more people on the point, but that doesn't mean you can just give it up. Otherwise, situations like this are going to happen. Blank get back into it. They had supports. Kura behind, pulling out the damage with that Sonic Amplifier, is actually going to flip the point around for Blank.
Are you kidding me? And Kura's also got the Sound Barrier available. They can pretty much watch as Mindfreak trickle in. This may be 6-4. We may very well have 5-6 because unfortunately Mindfreak have lost their minds and Blank Esports blanked them out here on Horizon Lunar Colony. 6-4 now. They've got a minute and they're going to match them.
I can't believe we're seeing that again.
Oh no.
That is, I think, the second time, at least, second time that I've caught where Lasky, in a situation where his team has the advantage, is not properly managing his health and his shield.
He's not a DPS.
Okay? You're not. I know, like, Reinhardt does a lot of damage in a GOATS composition if played well, but he's going too ham.
Needs to reel it in.
You've got to put it away sometimes, ZeNox. You can't just whip it out like that.
No.
And
it's a big hammer, does a lot of damage. But the
does,
shield is more important.
But you can see he gets below half health. He's got healers there. As long as he just waits around, as long as he protects them, they're going to keep him alive. But instead, he's getting taken down by supports on the other team.
All right. Well, regardless, they already had to have gotten that first point. Now they've got to get both. But let's focus on this first point more than anything, because obviously we saw before with that self-destruct, they held on to some ults because they conceded that first point. They obviously feel confident in being able to get this first point. They did so in their very initial attack and did so in the second of the overtimes. Now they go again, but they've only got 1 minute.
A single minute. But they need more than one single point should they want to take out this map and keep themselves alive. They need at the very least 6 points. Nothing else will do here. Farah, they've changed it up a bit, so Blank Esports hoping to counter out this GOATS to do a lot of damage.
Blank are looking for a pick. I think they're going to be looking for a pick because they know a pick is as simple as this, that if they can get a hack and then Roro can get some nice damage. Look at the split that he's also trying to get here. This is perfect. There it is. This is over. Goobs goes down. That is just pivotal from Blank Esports, understanding what they are required to do. Roro's getting the picks, Roro's splitting them up, and it's Tails getting the hacks to make this almost impossible. They're going to get the mech pop, I believe, yes, onto Christoph. 10 seconds left. Yeah, hi to you, Goobs. Bye to you, Goobs, as well. I don't sense this is even going to go 5-6, Gino. Unfortunately, we don't even get that.
Mindfreak say hello, and Blank Esports say goodbye. The sound barrier will not be enough. Fractured, unfortunately, his wall riding days have come to an end. The skates slip off, and it is Blank who come out on top, victorious in this series 3-0 once again. There will be another map to play, but once again, it won't determine the winner of this series.
And once again, we see ourselves a relatively close matchup that ends up being a loss for the team that's now 0-3. Also, congratulations though to Blank Esports. They do take out the series. It's confirmed 3-0 now. But again, Genome, it's gotten to a point where we are seeing these very close matches, and yet we're seeing just 4-0. Like, one of these teams so far today, sure, I mean, well, none of them have really been able to overcome one map, yet they've all been so close.
So many times they've had a sniff and just, you know, not managed to get it over the line. So we see it again. Mindfreak, they've got one last chance. We're going to be going onto an escort map. No ties there.
No.
I mean, it's technically possible.
It'll either be 3-1 or 4-0, and I still think maybe the way that today's gone and the way this particular series has gone, 4-0 is the likely outcome. And I'd say so far in every series of the 3 that we've played through today is we've seen 2 of the 4 maps be extremely close. The other 2, not so close. And this is probably
showing the difference between the better teams in Group A and the teams that are lagging behind a little bit at the moment. It's Mindfreak lagging behind by 3 maps. Not looking so freakish today, unfortunately. And Blank, that's not what the scorecard says. They have managed to pull out 3 victories so far. Now it is on to Route 66. Now this is a map that Mindfreak, again, have gone very close on in a lot of situations. But if there's anything that we've learnt from today, it's that close is not close enough.
No, it's not. At the end of the day, you can come close, but if you look at their results so far, 0-4, 1-3, 1-3, and this may be 0-4. Could potentially still be 1-3, but they haven't won on Route 66 at all. It has never happened. So it makes it difficult, of course, and for Blank Esports, 2-1 so far on Route 66, obviously the better of the 2 records. And with that all in mind and all that said and done, this could be a full hold.
It could be ZeNox.
It's happened before, but it was the Sydney Droppers, to be fair.
Yeah, it's the only time Mindfreak have failed to get through. And if we've seen anything today, it's that their attack
I mean, the reason why I say that is because we've seen Route 66 so far today, and of course last week when we were here, and we've seen some pretty strong performances on this first point.
Yeah, it's interesting that it seems to favour the defenders a little bit more in this situation than it does the attackers. See if we get any interesting picks. Both teams just going to go for a pretty standard comp there. Tongue, no, he's not going to go onto that Hanzo, of course. That's just to see where the hold is for Mindfreak. And Mindfreak, once again, just going to drop down from the top, not hiding anywhere funky, anywhere freaky.
No. So Blank Esports going to be attacking, of course, for Mindfreak, looking to at least make this series 1-3 in favour of Blank rather than the clean sweep. Cool Whip's going to go down low health. And for Blank Esports, they will take that first fight. They'll get up to around the bend of Big Earls, heading towards the doors, and then Mindfreak will come back. They will have Lasky's Earthshatter as well.
Built that up quite quickly, of course. He's the one on the front line, taking most of the punishing from Blank Esports. It's a good advantage, at least. It's something they can, if you know, Kamskis can get in there. Perhaps with the shield bash, they'll have a chance. But Nellery with that Fire Strike has actually got him quite close, and now he's going to have his Earthshatter up with a single Hammer Strike.
Oh, nice return, but they did lose numbers regardless, though. They are actually, with the remaining members of Mindfreak left, they
don't do it.
Pick up 4. Surely, oh, he's going to go for a Roro with the solo Graviton Surge. I mean, I think Noz maybe he's actually still there getting the DMAC onto Christoph, but
that's good value. He gets Goobs' Transcendence out of that ZeNox, and that was like a 1v6. Maybe a 2v6 at best.
Yeah, I mean, do you trade the Grav for the Transcendence every single time? I mean, I guess because of the fact that Transcendence...
I don't think so in that case. When Roro threw it out, he was very low health. They just had needed a little bit of focus, and he was going down.
I mean, it's a win for Roro. In
Absolutely.
The end. Yeah.
I think that trade
Which
is
is funny because it started off as a loss by using that grab. Here they come now. Self-destruct going to be thrown past the Big Earl's sign. Doesn't quite get a connect though. And no Transcendence here again, remember, for Mindfreak. But they do have the Graviton Surge for Cool Whip. As he's going to get that eaten because I don't see it anywhere. Noz with the eat onto the grab from Cool Whip. That should be meaning we're going into the street space.
Yep, looks like a solid fight win there from Blank. Very adept at using this composition to bully the others back. You know, Nellery known as a very aggressive main tank. You see him get up there. Lasky seemingly trying to outdo him today. Unfortunately, Cool Whip gets caught off there. Yeah, that's quite ugly. That's just going to give them free push probably around to the corner.
Instead of getting the ability to hold further up here near the big doors and fight it early, they basically have to allow. Which we've seen, you know, be very successful for the defensive teams when they can push them back to those initial routes. You know, either through the mine shaft or over the hill. So they get out of that danger zone. Into the danger zone.
Interesting key you've chosen to sing that in.
Yeah. I don't think I've got the energy to go.
We haven't been to karaoke yet, ZeNox. No. We'll have to do it sometime.
Playing Esports, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Self-destruct thrown out from Christoph. And it's not going to reach Blank at all. They do take out Tails, but Blank have got the ulti if they really want to commit to this, which they might not want to. They'd probably rather try and bait out ultimates from Mindfreak. I mean, they already got the self-destruct thrown out and baited. But that was pretty early on into the fight, and even though it didn't really make a difference, I think this is a really good win for Mindfreak. They only use self-destruct, and they can hold Blank at bay.
Definitely done that for the moment. As we said, they're pushed up into this unfortunate choke, but they've got a lot of tools to break out for it. D.Va eats the Fire Strike there, which could have done a lot of damage to Blank Esports. Lasky's got the Earth Shatter up regardless, but it's going to be the grab to start the fight.
Self-destruct as well. Sound barrier from
too high.
Both teams has been used. Now the Graviton Surge. Oh, big Earth Shatter to the back line for Nallery though. Blank Esports continue to just shift on through past Mindfreak. Now they come under the little bridge archway. Team kill now towards checkpoint number 2.
Actually turns out quite well the way that Blank was split up there. Nellery in the back line doesn't get caught in the grab, but he doesn't need the shield there because they had the Transcendence that allowed him to get that shatter around the back.
Look at the ult though. Yeah,
nice little whip shot there from Tails, keeping Mindfreak back and making it a very last minute contest. Here they even stun the shatter out.
That is huge.
Shatter for you, Lasky.
Mindfreak had the only two ultimates that were available in this, and because of the stun onto the Earth Shatter, he doesn't even get to use it. Goobs goes down. There's no point using the Transcendence. You've lost the fight just based off that alone, and Blank now get this second checkpoint. If that didn't happen, you get that Earth Shatter, and you maybe then use the Transcendence to win that fight and confirm it. Second checkpoint, great spot to hold, and
it's definitely had some potential there. And I know there's a lot of people out there who just can't wait for Brig to get that nerf where her bash no longer goes through shields. But that doesn't help for Earth Shatter because, of course, you've got to put it down to do that. Stunning out the shatters is definitely still going to be a possibility in the future. Sorry to give you this news, Reinhardt mains.
I mean, you can put the projected particle barrier. That works. There's one way around it. It's like a loophole in the system. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Blank continue to get through here slowly but surely. It's not the quickest of pushes, but they're getting the job done as best that they generally. Again! Are you serious? 2 inside of like a minute.
Tails, what a player. And
wow, that must be demoralizing.
Domination of the enemy Reinhardt here. And as you say, I mean, if your morale isn't low enough after going down 3-0, ZeNox, what's it going to be like after losing 2 ultimates in a row?
At this point,
to an ability on like, what is it, an 8-second cooldown?
Yeah, look, I think at this point, Lasky's going to get the next Earth Shatter and be like, I'm not even going to use it. What's the point?
He's just going to walk up to the Brigader and wave next time. He's just like, come on, just do it to me.
Oh, God. Can he go for 3 in a row? Fractured will have the sound barrier for Mindfreak.
He's got to build one up first.
Well, he does.
There's not long left in the map.
There's not. He's got to get there in time. Graviton Surge available for Cool Whip. That may be, you know, enough to win them a fight. Who knows? Tung does have the Transcendence. He will immediately hop down from the American Eagle truck and get that Transcendence into the group for the Graviton Surge. Roro was at least eliminated by Lasky, so that's something. There's the Earth Shatter. Finally, Lasky connects I'll take down Nallery. Don't really feel like it was needed though.
You can see how far back he was as well. He was like, all right, all 5 of you, get in front of me. I need you to body block the...
Where's Tails? Okay, Tails is not here.
Bash for me.
All right, we're good. Oh, one more minute. Blank Esports. I feel like Mindfreak though on the attack here. The Route 66 haven't been too bad on attack. I mean, they did get full health by Sydney Droppers, but it is going to be Blank who...
Yeah, generally they've been okay, but Blank is just going to have enough shield. It goes down after the self-destruct, but Goobs keeping his friends alive in the back line.
Graviton Surge, and it's going to be the charge through for Nallery.
Nice barrier.
Self-destruct, and then the charge through back.
No barrier for Nallery.
You can do. I can do better. It also gets the kill onto Nallery, but it's the kills that are going into the way of Blank Esports. No more ults left here for Mindfreak now that Graviton Surge from Cool Whip was thrown out onto the payloaders. It's 1-for-1 trades back and forth. Tongue with a headshot onto Goobs. 15 seconds left, 4.60 meters. Fracture just running around to the point. Christoph into the pilot mode Diva. Tails will get the double. Pilot mode Diva swatted away. 5 seconds left though. Tongue has got the Transcendence available as Carroll almost looked like he booped and jumped onto the head of Fractured like he was Mario. Taking out a Goomba.
He's gone down all right. Squished into those 8-bit pixels.
8-bit.
Was Mario an 8-bit? Oh, the music probably was.
Yeah, the music definitely.
Does that only apply to music? I guess if you only had 8 bits.
Was it like 8-bit music?
If you only had 8 bits for the graphics, it probably wouldn't look that great.
No, I think it was 16. I don't know. Doesn't matter, does it?
You're not old enough to even remember those times, ZeNox.
No. Was. Like me some Mario. I also like me some Overwatch, and so far so does Blank Esports. Maybe Mindfreak not so much today. Maybe they'll.
There's good days and there's bad days.
Yeah. I don't think they'll be too happy with this because coming into this, we felt like Mindfreak definitely could take it up with Blank.
Yeah, there's good times and there's bad times, ZeNox, and I think Mindfreak are going through the bad times now.
Yeah.
As the great man Bob Ross would say. So, on the defense, Mindfreak.
I mean, that's a...
Is that a positive?
It's a positive, obviously. It's a sign of hope as well for Mindfreak here that if they do get it all the way and they have
It's a very narrow light at the end of a very long tunnel on the third point.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to sum it up here for Mindfreak. And I think it's just about sort of showing that you're not going to give up, not going to give in, and right down to the end, you're going to continue to fight. And I think that's the best approach to take here for Mindfreak, even if it doesn't work. That's what they need to do, and at least trying to do here. Right down to the end, give it all they've got.
Another close hold seems to be the choice of pretty much every team now in Contenders. It's really become the norm to be holding on the payload as it starts. Kind of a throwback to 2016, maybe early 2017, where Selfless really popularized the close holds. Unfortunately, Blank Esports losing a couple of members. They're still going to go forward even without Tails. That's bold of them.
Yeah, interesting. Usually when the defending team loses a player early, they kind of just fall back, go to big L's.
Yeah, and I like what Mindfreak does there. They pull back because they know they can get the next fight in a 6v5. Rather than taking the 5v5, they will take this fight very smartly and come in later to give themselves the advantage. Unfortunately, not picking up another kill early will even things up. And Roro on the back of this is just getting mad, charge, and so much energy towards his ultimate.
Ults that Blank are getting. Nallery picks up the huge Earth Shatter. Goobs is though behind with the Transcendence regardless. Can't quite save them all, Goobs. And it will be Blank keeping Mindfreak still in spawn.
It was a well-timed Transcendence, but as you say, too many sources of damage. A charge does too much damage. You can't get that onto a squishy. You really can't just help them at all. So, Tongue now in the back lines. See him chucking out the Discords. It's really helping Blank get through this.
Mindfreak building up their own ultimate here, but they don't have the Transcendence for that Graviton Surge. And really for Mindfreak, it's just one of those sort of eco pushes where they have to just allow Blank Esports to have their way with them. They did commit the ultimates though.
But you shouldn't have to do eco pushes when you're at spawn.
Yeah.
You can just use extra bodies to throw at the cart. You don't need to worry about the ultimates that much, and we need to see a really good grab here come out of Cool Whip. Blank actually playing this pretty passively. We see them hiding in the tunnel there.
Well, Blank don't have as many ultimates right now. Like, the economy is not quite as strong as Mindfreak's in the sense that Mindfreak have got a solid 4 ultimates up. Once Kemsky gets... Well,
oh, no.
Man, this is not looking good. And Cool Whip just used the grab, by the way. So they lose that. And Tails using the rally as well. Blank Esports just really having their way with Mindfreak sort of to close off this series, to close off the day. 1 minute and 20 seconds left.
I love that little boost there from Roro. I was wondering how he got up there in the last fight. There you go. Nice for the observers to catch that. It's just giving him these high angles, which we've seen time and time again in GOAT's composition can be such a difference maker. You know, being able to pump out the damage, especially when you're highly charged like Roro is right now.
And he's got the Return Surge as well. Goops with Transcendence basically to try and counter that. But even though it counters the damage aspect of it, it still keeps them locked in place.
They are taking so much damage every time they push in because Roro is using nothing but right clicks here. Nothing but those explosive charges. They have to rotate all the way around and now finally use the rally even to try and get some sort of position on the card. Only one caught by the Earth Shatter, but he's taken down by the charge.
One's better than none, though. Christoph's going to pick up 2. Kura and Tung both going down huge because Tung had the Transcendence available here. No sense for Roro or Noz to use their combo because immediately Blank Esports will come straight back. The cart had basically not moved at all. And they will be able to come back, Gino, with 3, probably 4 ultimates. Kura's not that far away from a sound barrier here. And all Mindfreak will have is a sound barrier and Lasky's Earth Shatter.
Look, comeback's a strong word. ZeNox, it's a squeak, maybe, is what we're hearing from Mindfreak here.
Yeah.
As they finally managed to get the wheels rolling on this payload. Blank are going to come in from the top. They're going to come in hot, and they've got a combo here. A good a self-destruct is going to come in from Noz, though, right on top of Lasky. The sound barrier keeps them at bay, though. Yeah,
double sound barrier from both Blank and Mindfreak. Now, Nallari's Earth Shadow will pretty much fractured. Cool Whip is going to be whipped, and Kamsky's thrown into the sky. Overtime bar goes away. It's 4-0. And that's the way today has been. It's a 4-0 kind of day, unfortunately, Gino. But it's still been a great day of Overwatch. Blank Esports showing us how it's done. They had some nervous moments, and like all of the matches that we saw today and all of those sets, there were at least 1 or 2 maps in each of them that came down to the wire, and it could have easily been a 3-1 sort of day where it's 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. In the end, it's 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. But the winners of today's games were all well and truly the standout victors.
They are undoubtedly the top 3 in this group, and with only 6, I think today has shown there's a very clear demarcation between that top 3 and the bottom 3.
Yep.
4-0 is really telling a compelling story here of what it takes to be a top team in Overwatch in Australia.
And for Blank, I mean, they played pretty well, especially, I mean, I think to close off a series with a 4-hold there on Route 66, that's just the way you want to take it out. And, you know, Horizon Lunar Colony wasn't the most clean.
Yeah, it felt like Mindfreak just didn't have anything to give by that point, didn't it? I mean, Christoph, that self-destruct was the
highlight.
The only thing. Yeah, I mean that was the highlight of their entire map, right? Which is oof.
A little bit unfortunate, but Blank Esports, they are a team that can be tough to take down. Of course, they've got some veterans on that team that have been around for a long time.
Considering they haven't been together for very long, they've pulled together as a team very well. I mean, you know, Nellary went over to North America to try and make something of himself over there. He's had to come back to Australia, and he's found a place in one of the top teams here, as he was before he left, really. So good on to him.
So there's the map set, Busan, Hollywood, Horizon Lunar Colony, and Route 66, all taken cleanly for Blank Esports, Gino. And for Group A, you've touched on this, and you're 100% right. It comes down to City of Drop Bears, Atletico, and Blank Esports.
Yeah, sitting very pretty at the top of the standings there, and I think it's going to be very tough for teams like Mindfreak, possibly Kraken, to push up into those upper echelons now. And it's it's important, right? Those teams are going to playoffs. Those teams are securing their slots for next year as well. You've got to remember that in other regions around the world, you've got academy teams who, you know, just get, they just walk straight through the front door, and they will be having a team in the Season 1 of 2019. And it's not quite the same here in Australia. We haven't got an OWL team yet. I'm sure we'll get there.
Yet. Hopefully we
Let's
will.
go to Melbourne.
Where we will be going, though, is to our Macca's Play of the Game with Noz on Diva.
All right, Noz, show us what you've got in this Macca's Play of the Game. It is going to be over on Hollywood. It's our second map of the day, and yes, we see that fantastic charge by Nellery, putting Lasky down there and just opening it up for the rest of his team.
And this is a team play of the game.
Of course it is. I mean, look at the grab. Look at the self-destruct coming in. Finishes just perfectly on that ledge there. Nellery times the charge just as well.
I mean, that explosion in slow motion just looks absolutely awesome. What a great Macca's play of the game, and highlighting sort of the teamwork there for Blank Esports. Genome, though, we're done for today's games here for Group A Australian Contenders. As much as we kind of expected, this is the way we expected today to go.